Another good week for Tesla, up 4% in the last 5 days. For the month, it's up 18%. TSLY is up 4% in the last 5 days and up 10% in the last month. So it's no surprise that my TSLY fund is also up, but it's only up 1.4% this week. And that is down to me doing my covered call at my synthetic of 170. So what we're going to do in this video, we're going to go through how much money I made, how much dividends I've collected, where's my projected yield looking to be, and then we'll head over to the charts and see what Tesla did, how it played against its pivot point, and then where we think Tesla's going to go in the next week. So again, if you like the sound of that, all I ask for is that you smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe. So we can see here, week 20, we made $324, which is the amount we set to make. We actually made more than that with the covered call actually losing $422 because Tesla is trading at 177.46. So it went past our covered call, and that's where covered calls tend to not work because you're capping your upside. Fortunately, however, because of the time left in my synthetic of my 170, we managed to get $850 in the synthetic, and if you minus the 442, we netted out at $408 for the week. So what I decided to do is pay myself the 324, what I said I was going to pay myself, and then put the rest back into the NAV to really help out the P&L. So where does that take me in terms of projected yield? So we can see here we're estimated in 12 months to make $21,005. We're at 8,517, which again works out to be a 70% projected yield. So again, in a little over a year, I would have made back my initial $30,000. Then anything I make after that is all free money. So I am down overall, as you can see here, when you look at it from if I reinvested my dividends or if I took the dividends out. But again, in a year's time, we will have a free pot of $30,000, which again, I can keep doing again and again and again. So I just need to make it to that 30K, which you can see nearly there. Well, I'm not even halfway there, but you know, I'm working my way through it. And again, we started in December. We are at the 17th of May. So again, we're working our way through to get that 70%. So, and you also got to remember, if we look at the charts, down here when I started Tesla, I started here at this arrow, you know, in late December, and we've not had the best run. So I'm still going to make on the current run rate 70% return on this underlying going all the way down. So again, you can still make a decent amount of money. And the way I've kind of worked out these kind of funds is this money here shouldn't really be taken out on a weekly basis to be used to pay bills and all this good stuff. What I like to call it like building cities. So you put 30 grand in, or you borrow 30 grand, as some people have done, and invest directly in yieldmax or do it yourself, whatever it is you decide to do. And the goal is to get to the 30 grand as quick as you possibly can. Because once you get to the 30 grand as quick as you possibly can, the rest of it then becomes free, and then it becomes a free ride for you. So and once you've done that, you then build another city and another city and another city. And again, there are a lot of people online on YouTube that are doing this with yieldmax funds, not doing my journey that I'm trying to replicate here. So it's slightly different. I might do one of those journeys where I just invest 20K into a yieldmax fund and just let that play out alongside doing options trading to get that paid off faster. So if there's anything that you want me to do as part of that, please comment down below and I can do that. So again, like I said, overall, we are in a good position. So what we did with the synthetic, because we were at the 170 expiring 31st of May, we sold we bought back the synthetic, as I said, for $850, and we re-established at the 180, and we sold a cover call again at the 180 strike. So again, I'm trying to balance the premium. So the premium here is 283. It's one of the lowest we've had. If we ignore that one, because I did a roll back in week 12 at 1.2% and 1.29. So again, it's trying to get that balance of what we're trying to look for. I'm trying to get this income number up as high as I can. Like I said, I could have paid myself the $400 odd in here, and then that would have probably put me at 71%. But again, I just wanted to make sure I've got that balance between like the NAV. And again, I'm taking this money out and spending it, whereas this tracking here is how long would it take me to recoup my initial investment. And I could probably work it out in days how long it will take me based on the current run rate, so I might do that in future videos. But again, I'm making $58 a day, so just imagine when I make back this 30 grand and it's around $58 a day just coming in passively. That is the goal, right? So that's where we kind of need to get to. And again, one of the reasons why I'm doing it myself is, if you look at TSLY with their stock splits and all of these types of different things, you've got more control if you're doing it yourself, as opposed to, you know, investing inside yieldmax, which obviously take their 1% and all these other different things. So if we have a look at the chart, let's have a look, see where we're at here. It was even though we were up, it was a pretty flat week overall. As you can see, it was hanging around this pivot level. There is no extremes at the moment. It's more on the upper side, and you know, it has been making better movements back to the lows of where it was around at 140, and you can see that with next week's pivot level. So one of the things you should really look at is where the pivot levels are in relation to each other. So if it's like a step up, like something from here to here, you know you've had a massive move. But if you had like pivots that are quite close together in terms of where the last pivot point was, you know it's basically ranged for the overall week, which you can see is what it's done here. So if we zoom out on the pivot levels, hit, missed, hit. So again, we do have a missed pivot level over here. It doesn't mean that it has to come back down here, but this again is something to just be mindful of, that we do have a missed pivot level 2 weeks ago at around the 160 mark. And again, 170 to 160, Tesla can easily make that move. You can see from here to here in that 1 week, that is enough to cover it to get it back to the 160. So that's where I've gone with, you know, I've not gone higher because I feel like the short-term trend probably is slightly down, unless there's some news, interest rates and all these other macro environment things happening. But my view is that we need to get back to that 160 mark to be able to take this out before we can continue to go up. It might take another few weeks, it might happen next week. You just don't know with Tesla these days. So that's one thing. Again, that's the only really kind of thing to bear in mind. We've not really got a direction, if I'm really honest. Again, we are kind of choppy over here. There's nothing really. You've got this longer term trend here, you've got this aggressive trend, but you also have a downtrend and then back down again. So I'm leaning some kind of bearish on this stock, which is why again I've done the covered call to maximize the income coming in through the door, because I think it's either going to chop or it's going to start going back down again, because I'm conscious of this 160 pivot. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If that makes sense. Again, the goal is trying to make that 30 grand as quick as we can to make this free. That's all we're trying to do here. And again, if you've got any questions, comment down below, and I shall see you guys in the next video.